Dozens of people who communicated with the sex offender Jeffrey Epstein over the years are now being scrutinized for their relationship based on emails that lawmakers released to the public, and correspondents are mostly men. They sought advice about pursuing women, discussed current events, and otherwise bantered in these pen pal friendships. These email exchanges took place years after Epstein became a registered sex offender in 2008. Between a federal indictment, a police investigation, civil lawsuits, and public allegations, Epstein is accused of recruiting and trafficking more than 1,000 girls as young as 14 to participate in sex with him, his associate Ghislaine Maxwell, and other men. The names to be mentioned, some have not anything bad, but had serious and consistent communication with Epstein. In another development, an economist, a scientist, an investor, and a journalist are being mentioned. They sought advice about pursuing women, discussed current events, and otherwise bantered in these pen pal friendships. Larry Summers, a former Treasury Secretary and ex-president of Harvard University, appeared to seek advice from Epstein about a romantic relationship he was interested in initiating with a female economist he described as a mentee. In an email message on November 20th, 2018, the female economist appears to ask Summers about edits on a research paper. Summers forwards the email to Epstein and says, "Think no response for a while, probably appropriate." Epstein responds, "She's already beginning sick, to sound needy, smiley face nice." Elisa New, who has been married to Summers since 2005, sent Epstein a copy of an invitation to an unnamed event on November 25th, 2018. She is an American literature professor at Harvard and also discussed literature with him. She says in one message that she's going on a trip to Australia and will read a copy of Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov. The book is about a 30-something married scholar and his sexual obsession with a 12-year-old girl. People later named Epstein's private plane, which flight logs show ferried VIPs and women all over the world, the Lolita Express. Physicist Lawrence Krauss, who wrote The Physics of Star Trek, messaged Epstein to ask for advice when a reporter with BuzzFeed News contacted him about sexual harassment allegations he was facing. Versions of these allegations were later published. "I did neck with that woman, but never forced myself on her. And we talked about kissing or going beyond that and decided not to," Krauss writes to Epstein December 11, 2017. He includes a lengthy list of events in his account of the encounter that prompted the inquiry and asks if he should respond to the reporter. Epstein asks if Krauss had sex with the accuser and for the details of the encounter, if it did happen. He then concludes, "I wouldn't respond. My advice is consistent. Off the record," Krauss writes, "we didn't have sex. Decided it wasn't a good idea." On November 16th, 2018, Steve Bannon, who was a top White House aide during President Donald Trump's first term, alerts Epstein that he's going to miss a flight at London's Heathrow Airport. Epstein responds, "There is a Gulf Air that leaves at 9:50 with a stop in Bahrain," before following up, "arrives 1130. Bannon responds, "You are an amazing assistant." The two sent many emails back and forth throughout 2018, some simply sharing news articles. Records also show Epstein scheduled a 7 a.m. breakfast with Bannon on February 16th, 2019. By that time, Epstein knew he was under federal investigation. Jonathan Farkas, a scion of the Alexander's department store family and the husband of Trump's ambassador to Malta, emailed Epstein on May 8, 2017. He asks what Epstein thinks of a woman he is seeing who is not his wife. "Careful she is not trustworthy at ALL," Epstein writes. "A two-timer?" asks Farkas. "Worse," Epstein says. "Jeffrey, please help me here. Is she a hooker?" Farkas asks. Epstein's response, "Alcoholic. Drugs. Unstable. Consummate liar. Careful." Michael Wolff emailed Epstein on October 29, 2016, days before Trump was first elected president. He was writing a book about Trump's 2016 campaign. "There's an opportunity to come forward this week and talk about Trump in such a way that could garner you great sympathy and help finish him," Wolff writes. Interested, there's no indication in the emails that Epstein responded or that he acted on Wolff's request. The president has said he ended his friendship with Epstein many years prior to this exchange. On February 1st, 2019, Epstein sent Wolf a 5 a.m. typo-written email about the federal investigation into his conduct. He describes some activity that lines up with what his accusers have said they were forced to do for money, but downplays other allegations. There were many girls, he wrote. The girls returned sick. The house multiplied times for $200 for a rub and tug. No sex. Some worked in the low-cac massage parlors, most in their mid-20s. Epstein emailed biotech venture capitalist Boris Nikolic in January 2010 to ask about a conference in Switzerland, according to PBS. Nikolic writes in the email chain that he met Epstein's friends, former President Bill Clinton and then Prince Andrew. Later, he writes that he is getting sick of meetings, and it will be blast that you are here. I was just flirting with 22 years old hot blonde blue eyes Mexican chick, Nikolic writes. It turns out she is with her husband. Did not have chance to check him out. But as we concluded, anything good is rented winky face. Epstein's schedule for December 6th, 2014 says, reminder, Elon Musk to island December 6th. Is this still happening? After Forbes covered the purported island trip in September 2025, Musk posted a response on social media. This is false. Musk told Vanity Fair in 2019 that he visited Epstein at his house in Manhattan years before for about 30 minutes. We did not see anything inappropriate at all, apart from weird art, Musk said. He tried repeatedly to get me to visit his island. I declined. The Goldman Sachs executive and former White House counsel to President Barack Obama made disparaging comments about people in New Jersey in an email with Epstein. On March 24, 2018, she shared an article called, How Close is Donald Trump to a Psychiatric Breakdown? Later in the thread, Epstein writes, Plenty of blame. Mostly the feminists. Ruemler responds, Careful, or the pendulum is going to swing hard the other way and feminists will be in charge of everything. Epstein says he was kidding, and Ruemler responds, So was I mostly. See you at 2? I ordered sushi for you. Epstein says. Goldman Sachs spokesman Tony Fratto told CNBC, These emails were private correspondence well before Kathy Ruemler joined Goldman Sachs.